not yet know what lies beyond the door. You understand so little.
I'm gonna get out and learn what's out there.
A meaningless effort. One who knows nothing can understand nothing.
The darkness has nothing to fear. You're fine as you are. Darkness cannot be destroyed. It can only be channeled.
Darkness is our foe. You must destroy it.
I hate you so much.
Come on, Sora. I thought you were stronger than that. So it's true. You really are his nobody.
I am me. Nobody else.
Now a word from our sponsors.
Hi, before using Dubby, I was a father of 12. But now, after Dubby, I'm a deadbeat dad.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Let's see what we got in here for the Dubby. Big Dubby. We got the motherfucking... We got the motherfucking... We got the motherfucking... Oh, shit. So the first flavor of Dubby, we have peach and beet.
You what?
Second flavor of Dubby, we got the dragon mayo. Next flavor we have laxative.
What?
Laxy grenade. Next flavor we have some. This is a zero sugar powder pack. And last but certainly not least, we have Heinz Berry Splash. I'm Wasabi, and this has been your Dubby advertisement.
Kingdom Hearts is a lot. Kingdom Hearts is a lot of things. A lot of people know Kingdom Hearts for being this convoluted, complicated ass story, and to some degree you may be right. But Kingdom Hearts has a lot of good things about it. One of the great things that keeps people interested in Kingdom Hearts is all the themes and I guess you can say like messaging between the gangs and what goes on in the story. From the very beginning, we can see the manipulation tactics start to really like intrigue their young minds and their young brains into doing some things that really are just not safe. Sora, Kairi, and Riku's eagerness to explore the world and other worlds is not a bad thing to want for kids to want to do, because kids are genuinely curious people. Like kids want to, you know, go outside and explore things and experience new stuff because they're kids. They don't know, because kids don't know anything about anything. Kids don't have the experience to know like, oh, this is fun, or this is actually dangerous, or doing this way is actually the better and safer way. Kids don't have that experience or knowledge. If you don't have the money or the tools like Sora, Kairi, and Riku, then you can't necessarily experience these things at a young age. So you yearn for it, and you yearn for a way to explore and to learn new things. And they take a route that seems innocent, but ends up almost costing them their lives. Sora, Kairi, and Riku are kind of led on this false hope of exploring new worlds to, you know, see new people and see new things and to have fun. But what they end up doing is the more they explore the worlds, the more they realize that it kind of fucking sucks. Like the more that they explore the worlds, the more they realize how much good and how much bad can be out in a singular world. That there isn't just, you know, fun adventures that they get to go on like they get to do within the safety of Destiny Islands, which you can't really blame them for, because they were kids. They were no older than like, you know, or 11 or 10 years old. And this is also another thing within the Kingdom Hearts games, where there's good, there's bad. Where there's good, there's evil. And with Sora, Kairi, and Riku being separated in Kingdom Hearts 1, they realized this. They realized that no matter how much good people you find, there will always be bad people. No matter how much bad people you find, there will always be good people. Where there's light, there's darkness. Where there's darkness, there's light. There always has to be a balance. Just like we see early in the game with Riku, he's manipulated into thinking that darkness is the only way to find these things. And Sora is being manipulated to see, and Sora is kind of being manipulated to think that darkness is inherently evil and everybody who is exposed to it will turn into a bad person, but doesn't know that very later on in the game that good people can still reside in the realm of darkness. We also see this a lot in Birth by Sleep with Terra. We see this with Terra and Master Ericus a lot, because Master Ericus hates darkness. He hates darkness. He does not want it around him at all, which is why he doesn't promote Terra to be a Keyblade Master, because he still sees darkness within Terra. But just like I said, where there's darkness, there's light. Where there's light, there's dark. Master Xehanort tells Terra that darkness can't be destroyed, it can only be channeled. But then Master Ericus says darkness is your foe, you have to destroy it. Basically telling him the literal opposite of what can actually happen to darkness. Master Ericus' overcorrection of Terra's darkness within his heart causes Terra to be manipulated because Terra doesn't know how to control his powers, and Ericus is not teaching him how to control it. He's just telling Terra to get rid of it. He's just telling Terra to get rid of it, to destroy it. That darkness has no place here. That darkness has no place within anybody's heart, when darkness is within everybody's heart, which is why a Heartless can be made from basically everybody, even Sora. Even that's why Sora can be turned into a Heartless. Now, the amount of darkness that's within everybody's heart varies. It depends on how much you allow into your heart. Even with how strong Sora is, he only turned into a mere shadow. He did not turn into a big giant boss Heartless like some people would. And even with Terra having darkness in his heart, he did not have a lot. He had very little darkness in his heart, but that little amount of darkness, because he didn't know how to control it, people were able to manipulate him into doing whatever they want or to get something from him. We see this very early on in Birth by Sleep, where Maleficent is able to manipulate him into releasing Aurora's heart and giving it to Maleficent, because he does not know how to control the darkness within his heart, because he was never taught that. And he's being manipulated to think that if you have any darkness within you, you're basically impure. You're basically, not good. You're basically like a bad person, which is not Terra's fault, because everybody has darkness within them. The only exceptions is the Princesses of Heart, because their hearts are pure light. Everybody has darkness within him. Everybody. And Master Ericus' overcorrection of this ultimately leads to Terra, Aqua, and Ventus' demise, and ultimately leaves with Terra losing his soul and his body, being trapped in two separate places, being used for evil within the realm of darkness for a whole decade, and for many years on until Kingdom Hearts 3, where he's finally able to set himself free from being the guardian that Ansem used to fight Sora in Kingdom Hearts 1 and 3. Manipulation is also how Roxas ends up losing his memories and ends up in the false, Matrix kind of Twilight Town. Roxas' manipulation is kind of the most complex of the entire series, because what people were telling him was true. It's just nobody was being honest with him about how he got there and what his true nature was. Everybody was just using him as a pawn. This was using Roxas as a pawn for revenge on his students who turned his back on him, and to help form Organization 13 so that they could get Kingdom Hearts. Riku was just using Roxas as a pawn to wake up Sora, because Roxas is basically Sora, but Roxas has his own brain, his own thoughts, his own feelings, and he's been lied to so much by Diz and by Riku, he doesn't trust anybody. He didn't trust Axel, he didn't trust Organization 13, which is why he turned his back on them in the first place. Nobody told him the truth because they all wanted to use him for their own, selfish kind of game. And no, I'm not calling Riku selfish for wanting to wake up Sora, but if people were just more honest with Roxas, then it would have been a lot easier to get, Sora to wake up, rather than people just lie to him and manipulate him and use him just so that they can get what they want. And the people who ended up using Roxas, they don't see the error of their ways until the end of KH2, and they really don't see that Roxas just wanted to be like everybody else, which is essentially kind of how every nobody from Organization 13 wanted to be. They just wanted to be whole. Roxas just wanted to be whole, entirely. He just wanted to be his own person. He even understands toward the end that he knows he and Sora are essentially the same person. He knows there's two halves. He knows that they're basically just two halves of the same person, but he basically just wanted to be like everybody else. He didn't see why everybody else gets to be their own person, why everybody else gets to have their own freedom, but he and Naminé don't, which is basically the same thing what the nobodies want, which is why they manipulate Sora into, to killing as much Heartless as he can, so that they could create and form Kingdom Hearts, so that they can control all the worlds, then have their own hearts for themselves. And this all ties back into the manipulation of people. Sora, Kairi, and Riku were manipulated into leaving basically their safety bubble of Destiny Islands to go and explore more worlds under the guise of, oh, we're gonna get to explore and see new things, not knowing that they're just gonna be used as pawns in this war that they essentially had nothing to do with, in a war that they did not start, and into a war that they didn't want to finish because they didn't want to get involved in this in the first place. Because throughout Kingdom Hearts 1, Chain of Memories, and Kingdom Hearts 2, Sora just wanted Kairi and Riku to return to the islands with him. He didn't want to, finish the Keyblade War. He didn't want to be in, the next Keyblade War. He didn't know about, Aqua and Terra and everything like that. Sora just wanted his friends to be under the safety bubble. He just wanted he and his friends to be in that safety bubble yet again. But as a recurring theme, especially in the older Kingdom Hearts games, you see that Sora gets dragged out to do another adventure because other people use manipulation to try to get this selfish thing that they want just so they can have everything. And even if you want to go and even if you want to explore the manipulation part a bit deeper within Kingdom Hearts, it really is a game about kids being manipulated by adults. Because every time you think about Kingdom Hearts and this plot, you essentially can boil it down to a group of adults bully and basically manipulate these kids into doing and finishing things that they started. Aqua, Ventus, and Terra have to end a war that Master Xehanort started because Master Ericus was too focused on being pure light and being headstrong that he didn't see Xehanort was manipulating his own students right up under him. Riku ends up getting manipulated by Maleficent and pretty much all the other, Disney villains to think that like, oh, Sora doesn't care about Kairi. Sora only cares about having a Keyblade and looking cool for Donald and Goofy. Sora doesn't actually want to save Kairi. Riku ends up getting, torn apart from Sora even more so he can be leaned more into darkness so that he can be used for Maleficent's own selfish gain to gain Kingdom Hearts and to gain her own dominion. And the more and more you dive into the plot, you see that more and more of these kids are just being used. You're seeing more and more that these kids are just being used as pawns in these adults' selfish gain to gain Kingdom Hearts or to gain more strength or just to gain something. Everything that these adults use these kids for is to gain something or to be used as a revenge plot like with Diz or Ansem to end some stupid revenge plan that they themselves could not finish. Diz could not finish the revenge plan that he started, which is why he ends up dying in Kingdom Hearts 2. He could not finish that revenge plan by himself because he's not strong enough and he's not even a Keyblade wielder. He started a whole revenge plot by himself which he could not finish. He knew for a fact he couldn't save Sora, he couldn't save Roxas, he couldn't save anybody. So instead of trying to actually save people and fix things, which Mickey even tells him, why didn't you come to me when things got bad? He was so blinded by the rage that he had for his students betraying him, he didn't even realize he was betraying kids this entire time. He didn't even realize that he was betraying kids and, basically using kids as a pawn for his own revenge scheme. He didn't realize that. He didn't realize that until he's literally on his deathbed, which is fucking crazy if you really think about it. Diz didn't realize that Maleficent didn't care that she was using people, but at least she was fucking honest about it. But with everybody else, like Xehanort is honest about it, but it's still kind of sad that they have to use kids because they're not, well equipped enough to, finish out their own revenge plots or to, get what they need by their own hands. They have to use other people. They have to manipulate other people to, join Organization 13, like Xehanort, like, Ansem's Heartless, like Xemnas. And even with Organization 13, they were manipulating each other to essentially get what they want. Alarxian and Marluxia and Vexian, I think, they all split from Organization 13 to get what they want. And essentially nobody was happy until they got what they wanted through manipulating other people, through manipulating Sora to, go through Castle Oblivion to forget all of his memories and to end up having to be, in a coma for a whole year. Just so they could get what they want. Just so they could sit there and say that I've got what I wanted. No matter how many people I had to manipulate to get to this point, I got what I wanted. Kingdom Hearts is a story about a lot of things. It's a story about friendship, perseverance, and never giving up. But it's also a story about how manipulation can cause a ripple effect and ruin so many other people's lives.